in. We're rocking and rolling. So wanted to kind of give everybody an update. There's going to be a new director in this Lane Bryant case, and they're really trying to get the word out again. I'm going to go over the case really quick with you and read the summary of what exactly is going on in the murder case. There's a new director that actually is putting something together, which is really, really cool because it's absolutely nuts that there is no suspect in over 18 years. So let me find the new documentary filmmaker that he's hoping, which is so compelling, he's hoping to actually figure out who the victim is. So I'll read it to you guys really quick. I just wanted to give you some feedback on this. I thought this was super interesting. Last year, I actually was looking up this case, and it's just crazy. So this documentary filmmaker hopes to help solve Tinley Park Lane Bryant murder. So I'm basically just reading from this article, which is really interesting. 17, and I'll start it now. 17 and a half years later, the murder of five women at a Lane Bryant store in Tinley Park, Illinois, remains one of the most infamous cold cases in the Chicago area. On Saturday, February 2nd, 2008, five women were shot and killed inside the Lane Bryant store, inside the Brookside Marketplace Shopping Center at 191st Street and Harlem Avenue during a robbery. The robber took the store manager, four customers to the back, shot them all, put bullets in the back of all their heads. Um, he killed the store manager, Rhonda McFarland, 42 of Joliet, and customers Connie Woolfolk, 37 of Flossmoor, Illinois, Sarah Savransky, forgive me for the mispronunciation of the name, 22 of Oak Forest, and Carrie Chuzo, 33 of Frankfurt, and Jennifer Bishop, 34 of South Bend, Indiana. A a store employee, was also shot and wounded. She was the one to give the description, a very unique description of the suspect. This suspect had dreadlocks, African American male, but had a green bead in a few green beads in his dreadlock, which I think was just very unique. So to me, when you have something that's that unique, right, with that really specific detail description of the suspect, it feels like somebody would know him, right? So if you blitz the whole area and it's so specific, a dreadlock hanging down by the cheekbone with little green beads, it just seems super specific and strange. Let me see if you guys can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay, so like you have a person with green beads that has a dreadlock. And if you just asked friends, families, cousins, anybody in that circle of people that know people, I would know somebody that had, a dreadlock, which is green beads. It would be like, oh, that's so and so. It's not like you have, in the early 2000s, the style was having dreadlocks and like multiple beads, like a lot of beads. I mean, this is a very specific placement of beads, and they're green. It's like, I know who that is, right? So that's why I feel like there's somebody in that Tinley Park area, surrounding area, Joliet, or, South Bend, Indiana area that I think, you know, they know who the killer is. So, anyways, I'll keep reading on this. The McFarland brothers, Maurice and Vincent Hamilton, those are the people putting together the documentary, are still determined to solve the case. So is documentary filmmaker Charlie Min, who hopes his new film will finally answer the question of who killed the women and why that person hasn't been caught. They're absolutely furious. This case, in my opinion, needs a temper tantrum, said Min, because we are going on 18 years, which is just crazy. Maurice and Vincent Hamilton also lost their mother last year. She died without ever knowing who killed her daughter. Can you actually imagine that? It's just unbelievable. He then states, trust that she's up in heaven with her, so we take that as a sign of relief, said Vincent Hamilton. McFarland's voice was heard on an eerie 911 call before the murder. She whispered, Lane Bryant, Tinley Park, hurry. And again, it was chilling, but I knew that she was doing the right thing, said Maurice Hamilton. And like I said, she's a hero. And again, I'm reading from his statement. Also in the background of that call was the muffled voice of the murderer. Maurice and Vincent Hamilton said they will never stop searching for that voice. And God, I don't blame them. He said, I think of the person as a coward. I wish nothing but the worst for him, said Maurice Hamilton. He'll come to justice one day, whether it's here or up there. Filmmaker Min is now in production on his documentary, Who Killed These Women? The Tinley Park Five, which, guys, check it out when he releases this. This is awesome that he's doing this. This is something that we need to find. I remember being a lot younger as a kid, and this scared the living heck out of me because it was so random. It was such a horrible murder. It was five women that got shot in the back of the head. And it was a Lane Bryant story. It just made absolutely no sense to me. A women's clothing store. It was crazy. It shook the whole area. I mean, at the time, I was living in the middle of Illinois, like Schaumburg, Illinois. I'm sorry, like right off the suburbs of Chicago. And it just gave you the chills. It's such a horrible crime, and I'm so glad that they're bringing exposure back to this case because we do need to solve this case. Um, and this is more that he said. We have to talk about ideas and thoughts on how to solve this thing. It just can't be done talking about this once a year, which I agree with. And that's why I want to bring it to attention. Again, I don't have the biggest following, so you need to subscribe, like, and share because we're going to have a ton of new content and I don't want you to miss out. But this is so important. We have to figure out who this individual is. He has murdered, he's probably committed other crimes. He could be in jail. There could be other murders, sexual assaults. We don't know. But this guy needs justice served to him. Um, so that's basically the article. Wanted to jump online because I'm super passionate. Wanted to give a shout out to this guy. So again, it's a documentary filmmaker. He hopes to solve the Tinley Park Lane Bryant murders. I'm going to give him a quick shout out. So the McFarlane brothers are helping Maurice and Vincent Hamilton and the filmmaker Charlie Mint. Google him, check him out. Make sure that you share his documentary with everybody. It's so important to let this thing really catch fire and spread throughout Illinois and the surrounding states. I still think he's probably in the community. I think, someone that kills five people, shoots them all in the back of the head, and then takes money, might have robbed the store. You really don't, turn your life around and become like a successful person. You're either, you know, hard up, you could be homeless, you could be in jail already, you could die of a drug overdose, right? If you're taking $1,000 or whatever was in the cash register at the time, it's probably less. Maybe you're a drug addict. Like, to even think of that. Now, the Target video camera, they had like a few suspected vehicles, but they were super pixelated and nobody really knew. So there has been like other theories and like cars pulling in back, but back then the video was really hard to tell. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Spread the word. The documentary filmmaker is Charlie Min, and he's going to be bringing the case. You can also check out the Netflix documentary on the Lane Bryant murders. We have to solve this. We have to bring this guy to justice. This guy's a no good SOB. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. We really want to grow this community and bring exposure to killers out there and bring them to justice. I'm going to be in Arizona on Wednesday. I'm going to get to be interviewing the Baseline Killer's ex-wife. So you don't want to miss out on that one. She's a sweetheart lady. Anyhow, thanks again for watching. You guys have a great Monday, and we're live here at the Sheridan Hotel, which is pretty funny. I'll show you guys something. When I arrived, somebody actually brought me this gigantic Reese treat. I thought it was really random and crazy, but it looks delicious. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and don't forget about that documentary. Okay, I'm turning it off. Be patient with me, people.